Hi everyone, and welcome to Women in Retail Talks. In this episode, Melissa Campanelli, co-founder of the Women in Retail Leadership Circle, speaks with Mary Von Prague, brand president of Soma, a Chico's FAS intimate apparel brand. Listen in as they discuss Mary's journey to the retail industry, the biggest challenges she's faced, the professional accomplishments she's most proud of from this past year, and her goals for 2019. This episode was recorded live at the 2019 NRF Big Show in New York City. Mary Von Prague has been named to the recently released 2019 Top Women in Retail issue. This list features 16 women executives recognized by the Women in Retail Leadership Circle for their career achievements in the retail industry. Read more about Mary and the 15 other honorees in the full 2019 Top Women in Retail issue on mytotalretail.com/resources or by clicking the link in the show notes. And now on to the show.
Hello, everybody. It's Melissa Campanelli. I'm here at the NRF Big Show. I'm the co-founder of the Women in Retail Leadership Circle, and I'm here with Mary Von Prague, the president of Soma, which is a brand of Chico's, and we're so excited to have you. I think I'm just going to dive right in. So, Mary, tell us a little bit about your background and how you came to Chico's, or Soma, I should say.
I probably have a more untraditional background for intimates because I worked most of my career in the consumer products industry and latter part mostly in beauty. But there are a lot of similarities as you think about the closeness to women. So if I think about similarities, it's about marketing, selling, and innovating with women. And I was contacted by Chico's as I was the CEO of a Perricone MD. Prior to that, I worked for Coty for 7 years. I was the worldwide general manager for OPI. And before that, Johnson & Johnson. So I've worked on big brands, and I think they were interested in someone that had worked on big brands before. And I knew of Shelley Broader just through the industry experience. I was able to hear her at a women's leadership conference once, and then I overlapped with her when we both were in Canada. So I knew of Shelley, and I always thought she was a dynamic leader. And the third reason I came to Soma is that I have family in Florida. So all those three things combined led me to Soma. And I actually was introduced on the day of the hurricane. So
oh, my goodness.
It was a little bit startling. I think they need to include that in the training program. But it's been a whirlwind of a year, as I like to call it. And I'm just super proud to be a part of Chico's FAS and leading the Soma brand.
Great. That's awesome. So I have to say that Mary is in our Women in Retail Leadership, Top Women in Retail Leadership issue, which is coming out shortly. And we're so excited about that. Thank you so much for your great answers to our questions. But in that article, you discussed some professional initiatives or accomplishments over the past year or 12 months that you're very excited about. So maybe you could share some of those with our listeners.
Well, I think the first thing I'm most proud of is the team that I've assembled, the leadership team, because I think leadership sets the tone for everything. And we've created a strategy for growth. I think Soma was kind of sleepy and a little tired, but we've totally innovated the way that we're going to go about our future. And we've created the culture to support that. So I'm very, very proud of that. And it was very intentional how I assembled the team. When we needed leaders that could bring strong functional background, but also operate as a first team and support one another. Because making change like this is not easy. Our plan is to double the business in the next 3 years.
Wow.
And it comes through an innovation track. So we have created an innovation team separate from design and merchants that their whole goal is to survey the marketplace and look for materials, products, and technology.
Wow.
And so they're working a good 2 years plus out and then bringing things to the forefront. And we were fortunate, and Christina mentioned this in her previous conversation with you, to find some technology that we think will be a game changer in the industry. We've always invested in fit, and fit is no longer a secret, right? We say you don't need a tape anymore, which has been the industry predominant way of measuring a woman. And certainly quizzes don't take any physical measurements whatsoever. And women are quite, I would call it, intimidated by the fit experience. So this way, we can give her options. And we're super excited about Soma in a Fit and what that means for our future.
Awesome. What a great, sounds like you have a great year ahead of great successes. Another thing that we talked about in the issue was a little bit about your career let's talk about some challenges. We don't like to say failures at Women in Retail. We say challenges. So what's the biggest challenge you've faced, and what do you think you learned from it? And maybe others can learn as well, listening.
All I can say is throughout the years, I've always had great coaches, professional coaches, mentors, sponsors. And I'd say first and foremost, get somebody that really knows who you are. I had an experience once where I think it was, they used the quote, "This is sucking the life out of you, Mary." And I think what you always have to do is find the environment that you can best flourish in. Because you're, at heart, I'm the same person, but in a different environment, I can flourish. I like situations that require change, innovation, and a team that's well-resourced. And I found that here, and I always think you can be your best self in the right environment. So my advice to myself or to anybody else is find your voice and that experience that's going to bring out the best in you. And mine is a change agent, a continuous improvement type leader.
Yep, that's great. And it's very important that when you're making changes or pivoting your careers that you know ahead of time what you're getting into and asking the right questions.
Yeah. And we've all had surprises.
So what would be something that you would ask, what is something that you would have told yourself when you were younger that you know now?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think getting general management experience and running a P&L was probably the most pivotal change coming from a functional background in sales. I started in sales early on in my career. I think what I learned from that is I always managed people, but I didn't necessarily manage the business. And so about 10 years ago, I made the shift into managing a P&L and actually operating an entity. And I had to recognize early on that I couldn't be the expert in everything. My career got me the seat at the table, but then I ended up having to create a team of experts around myself. And it was just that leadership and how to get the best out of everyone that helped. And I think the other thing is I moved around a lot. I took chances. I've moved 16 times in my professional career, which I don't wish upon everyone, by the way. I'm fortunate that I lived in great places and took the opportunity, and I learned so much from that. I would not be sitting here today had I not taken those chances. And I'm very fortunate that I found a time in my career where I can balance the professional and the personal aspect, because the first time in my 30-year career, I'm actually living in a place that's close to family, which is very special to me.
Yeah. So that actually leads me to my last question, which is, what are your goals for 2019, both professionally and personally?
I'll start with a professional one, because we always talk about our personal legacy. And I asked my team to make a commitment, as have I. My goal is to get Soma on the map in the intimate space, and that every woman across America knows about Soma and the great benefits and what we offer, this great personalized experience. Because women need help and support, and we're there for them, and I really want to put Soma on the map. And then I think just looking at life day in and day out, I recently had a loss in my family, and it just caused me to say, I want to be my best self every day, and just really engage in the moment with individuals and make sure that they know they're important. And I try to value everyone.
Wow, that's great. That's a great goal for everybody listening. Well, I think that's all we have time for today, but thank you so much for joining me, Mary. And
Thanks,
we're looking forward to actually hearing you speak at the Women in Retail Leadership Summit, which is coming up here in April in Miami.
Looking forward to it.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening. For more information on this podcast, please check out our podcast channel page at wirlc.com/podcasts for show notes. Women in Retail Talks is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, and now on Spotify. Make sure to subscribe on our podcast channel page as well. If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a few moments to rate and review this podcast. Thanks, and until next time, this has been Women in Retail Talks.